Come for a swim. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's swim.
We are at my grandma and grandpa's house. Now it's my mom and dad's house. It's the Major Family Farm. Oh wow, artichokes all the way up. These are all baby artichokes started from seed, running up. How many do you have planted along there?
Well, altogether I got a little over 200 artichokes in.
Wow.
We'll see how many the gophers leave me.
Well, that's how nature does it. Plant a lot and then some survive.
I got a plant for the gophers and the birds.
So we'll give you updates on that. Hopefully as the world returns to normal here.
Find the bolts, and then you can just stick it in the corner of the yard till next year when I need it again.
And this is your...
That's the bulldozer attachment for the
We will have to show them this. I'm trying to get the video off of WhatsApp that you sent me. I'm going to have to put it on a big TV and then screenshot it or something.
Yeah, and 4 bolts, that bolts to the deck of the tractor, and then 2 bolts, that bolts to the exhaust cover on the front.
On a ride mower.
Yeah.
That he's converted into the little garden tractor, a little John Deere.
And that's the control arm.
Conduit, nice.
Well, I just went to the scrap pile and pulled out.
Oh, and then that's the blade, is the wooden board?
Yeah.
So that sits on the front of the tractor like that. It's like a push blade. Here's the John Deere. And so that contraption mounts on there?
Yeah, bolts on the front end of it, and then it has one control arm that comes back here, and you just work the control arm to raise and lower the blade so you can do bulldozing work and shove stuff around.
Awesome.
And then I made the set of discs over there.
Oh!
Out of a pair of discs I found in some junk one time. And then I couldn't get the disc to bite into that clay over there, so now I'm making a ripper bar out of an old hitch and some...
Oh, and some cement stakes.
Yeah.
That works.
And a spare hitch. I'm just getting them fit in. So you can adjust the depths of them,
Homemade farm ingenuity. Someday that'll be a Americana relic right there.
Yeah, somebody
For
will find that
real?
in my junk pile and go, what the heck? Yeah, and so you can adjust the depth, and I'll just use pins in it,
Yep.
to set the depth on it. And it's got enough weight, it should cut in at that angle and rip the soil enough so I can get the disc to bite in.
As was always done.
As was always done. If you
What
don't got
must
it,
be done.
don't got it, make it.
Back at the Major Family Farm. You should definitely check out the Instagram links and stuff for way more videos and way more pictures. My sister keeps a lot of photography coming up there all the time. But if you watched the previous video, which there will also be a link in the description, you saw this greenhouse on an earlier tour. So we have tomatoes, and there's already been some tomato sales, and I'll show you the garden. It's already planted. And now the plastic walls have been taken down on the sides so that there's airflow, so now it's basically like a shade house for the rest of the year. But we have a sea of tomatoes, literally a sea. And all of the other flowers, we'll take you out and show you where a lot of the stuff went. Here's the succulents that we were looking at that were just getting going, and now they're all turning into, look, they've turned into individual plants. You see that? That's pretty beautiful. I'm a succulent fan. I'm a sucker for succulents. So those were just singular leaves laid down. Look at the little mushroom colony. Those are the blooms of all of the underground little organisms, but I think it's kind of cool how they've grouped around the edge. You can tell that the symbiosis is happening there. And then this is the next stage. And yeah, all of the walls are down. That's not really there. You can see the row of apples that we have behind it. Yeah. Tomatoes, tomatoes, tomatoes. You want to go look out there? I do. The borage is blooming. Yeah, look at that greenhouse. Full of goodness. More planting happening. Are these all plant orders that are going out?
Yep.
Awesome. So those would be going into other people's gardens. All hopefully producing food for everybody. And then these are some of the other plants that have moved out that haven't been sold and haven't been planted.
These are yours.
And those are mine. Thank you. So you'll be seeing those go in my garden. Wow. So here's the apples. The whole edge of this whole property is like cherry. This is another cherry here. It's a pretty heavy set on there this year. I'm doing apples. All the trees are looking great. They really rallied back this year after a couple of hard years, you know? Look how big the leaves are on these. Wow. There's hard years and good years. It looks like it's having a good year. And then we have a plum. The plum's loaded up. Artichokes all the way down here. Big old row of them. So they're starting to develop the actual bank and the hillside besides the flat. But yeah. So the little voices that you hear in the distance, their great-grandparents started working this patch. That was my grandparents. And then I worked it with my parents. There's one of them there. And now my sister and the little ones. So that's 4 generations. I see seedlings up here all the way down. The plastic holds in moisture and keeps the weeds down. And every year it's run, this yard has basically run the other way. So this year it's all divided up this way. Which is probably good for the gophers. And
we typically planted all tomatoes all up and down here, so this year we rotated everything around, moved most of the tomatoes up to the where we usually have the squash and leaf crops, you know, rotated around a little bit.
definitely.
I try and haul enough soil in every year so it's new soil every year, but just try something different.
There's a whole gopher running underneath here.
That'd probably be a mole.
And then these look like, oh, these are the fancy scabiosas Emily was talking about.
Yeah, she just got those planted yesterday. They're
Still coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are flowers, and I see peppers here, and could definitely tell you all the different types, but I'm not going to because these guys plant, oh, I don't know, you could see the little tags blowing on each of the baskets. So how many different varieties are there this year of tomatoes? 47 varieties of tomatoes here. So, and then the peppers, there's probably a good variety there too, but you can see row of pepper stretching off into the distance, and then row of tomatoes, then a row of peppers again, and tomatoes. I gotta make sure I'm not getting in the eggplant. And we're underneath the mulberry tree. Oh, here we have eggplants, most likely. That's what they look like. So a row of them. More tomatoes, eggplants, peppers. These were all those little babies that you saw in the first videos. Wow.
The red stuff is Emily's favorite stuff. What do you call that?
Oh, so don't walk on this. This is the tall, beautiful amaranth.
Amaranth.
So, little tiny pigweed, and then the oh, what do you call it, more ornamental amaranth, but you can eat the little black seeds out of it too. And then quinoa is the largest of the family.
And they make really great ornamentals for her flower arrangements too. The big plumes off the giant red amaranth.
Yeah.
And they hold up real good in a bouquet.
And little finches and tiny birds love them too. That's what they're scratching out of the ground all the time.
Yeah.
Wow, and that's the field you're developing over there with the neighbor?
Yeah, the neighbor gave me permission to go ahead and use that, so I got it 3/4 of the way mowed. That's what I'm trying to break the clay on that I'm having so much trouble.
Oh, that's what you're rigging up the tractor with.
Yeah.
Wow, and then I see these must be it's looking like radish tops maybe here.
Yeah, radish patch.
Look at that radish patch.
And then carrots would be the next one.
Carrots, maybe beets.
Yeah, beets.
Yeah, see, they're here in mass. Just beets start off skinny little things, but they're there. More radish.
And we don't plant amaranths anymore. It just comes up everywhere.
Wow, that's one of the awesome parts about it. Okay, and then, oh, these must be some of the fancy scabiosa starting from seed here.
Yeah, and then you got different varieties of kale.
Kale.
Stuff like that, all leafy vegetables.
Next one will be Swiss chard running off in the distance. And then a ragged leaf variety of kale.
Ragged jack, yeah.
And then tomatoes running off in another row, just optimizing space. And that's actually a huge patch of the blue borage flower, which is an herbal flower, edible for teas and everything else. The gophers did?
Yeah.
Oh, they must have.
When they were young, you know.
Yeah. And we're underneath another cherry tree. So those are all young cherries that you see there. The low blossoms, the flower petals have fallen off now, and they're going to swell up into cherries because the bees have been by. Yay! That is quite the garden. And yeah, that's the report on the farm so far. My grandpa bought this place, what year? I always want to ask you, and then I'm always at home editing.
56.
1956 for, I heard, right around $20,000 back in the day or something.
18,000 bucks for an acre.
For an acre. And this is only a 1 acre property, and then the actual garden area is only this back part of it.
Yeah.
So it's about maybe 1/4 of an acre that produces all of this food, and always has. So I just like to throw that out there because it is a pretty small little farm and still produces a lot of food. So.
Well, I haul 60 yards of wheat every year of compost in and spread it out, you know, so it's close to 1 foot deep, and every year we haul out so many vegetables it goes right back down to about the same height. So I figure we haul out tonnage out of here. So we still got to plant the okra, butternut squash, acorn squash. What else was it? Oh, she's got all of her exotic flowers to get in the ground yet too. Huh.
The work is never done on a food farm.
Yeah, we had this whole row planted in beans, and the birds came in and ate them all as fast as they came up. So
Oh,
you can't see it, but there's
netting on there now.
yeah. I just got it all replanted and got the bird netting on it this time.
And these are all reused panels. A lot of reused stuff. And then the mulberry, its leaves are coming back for the year.
The big mulberry.
So it'll be big black berries all over this puppy.
It's the kid's favorite climbing tree because you can see how it's just perfect for climbing around in and stuff.
Look at the base on that too. It's hard to show on a camera, but that is a 2 foot wide mulberry base.
Well, it's almost 40 years old now.
I was gonna say that. Your dad planted that.
Grandma.
Or your mom.
When I was, I think, 18, I brought her mulberries from over in Santa Rosa. I was telling her about this giant mulberry tree I found, so she got on the seed catalogs and came up with mulberry trees, planted that one and that one back there. So we could have mulberries too. It just took 25 years before it started producing.
Yes, no, all the apples have such large leaves. They're lettucey looking leaves this year. Look at the lime green of that one.
Right, we got a lot of spread out rain this year, you know, so that the fruit trees are really
I
happy.
could eat lettuce tonight if I wanted.
These are all fruit trees
do
that
my
you
own
see, and
lettuce.
peaches, and they're just getting their leaves on them. But the edge of this property just has endless fruit trees around it. And then what are you planting right now? Cucumbers, lemon cucumbers. You guys want to see some chickens and ducks? I'm sure you do. They're still cute. What? Well, that one's fake. Those are real. Those are fluffy little ducks. Look at his little face. He's like a person. Hi, duck. The chickens are all running. Babies! I like their little teeny tiny hole. They're like going through a mouse hole. The teenagers come out. What kind of ducks are they?
They're Peking ducks. They're the white ducks that everybody, I guess, raises to eat them most of the time.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Are they like the old-fashioned eating ducks?
The ones that like people do raise to eat is this type. I got them from Tractor Supply. They're, I think, 4 weeks old.
Oh, yeah, babies. So they're growing pretty fast, huh?
Yeah, they. I thought I might have accidentally gotten swarmed for a second.
Yeah.
Hi guys, you want water? Come on. It's free. I have to do this like 4 times a day until we put them in with the pond with sugar nibbles.
I get to build a pond?
Yeah.
Yay!
Down in the lower one. They actually jump in there and like move their tails and quack. It's super cute. Come on, guys. I'll get out of your way in a minute. Check out the brooder.
Aww. So this is one of, well, no, I guess the whole thing got rebuilt, huh?
Yeah, but that, I just made that.
But I mean, this spot was
Oh, yeah.
chickens and rabbits when we were kids, you know? So, a lot of the rest of the world has changed, but... So this is their nesting setup, so we have plenty of nests. If you have extras, then more tendency to lay. We're also had something like a fox or something got in here at one point, so we're just now getting the numbers back up. Yeah, you want to look inside here? Oh! And this is like a little warm spot. And that also is just a reused barrel with a heating lamp in top. I like the little cement ponds and... Aww. Trapping you from your friends. I like your little mohawk. You were too nervous to get by, huh? Oh, I'm sorry. His siblings were talking to him. That was scary. Hi. Oh, back in. Can't make up your minds, huh? You want me to go out so you can swim? Okay.
Stick welder.
Oh, wow.
Oh, we needed something to hold the shade cloths up, and didn't want to stick them in the ground because then you can't move them around.
Well, that'll do it.
That's right.
So those are, oh, you can still use the rims. Those are just
Right,
your big rims off your big trucks.
Those are, yeah, some of my spare tires and rims. And then he was still worried about it, so he made up ground staples out of rebar.
Oh, I see. Well, yeah, that way you won't have metal tower crashing down on the kiddies.
Yeah, because it gets whipping up here pretty good sometimes.
Good work, Shane.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you guys, this is beautiful. Thanks for letting us look at your little world.
Anytime, brother.
We'll see you on down the road. Stick with your roots. Zeke. Hey, hope you liked the video. If you did, please hit the subscribe button below. Helps the quest for details grow. I appreciate the support. And if you double click the bell icon next to it, you'll get a notification each time we put out a new video.